Hello, you find me in my car. I'm about to head off and do something which I might not be able to film, so it's a little bit pointless from our point of view, but nevertheless I thought it was worth mentioning. If you've been following Will's radio drama, There's No Place Like Home, information as to how to access it is below. You will know that in a recent episode it was recorded within the environment in the context of a school production, and the children who took part in the recording of that episode and upcoming episodes are putting on a pantomime. It's an outdoor venue. It's called a travelling pantomime, so we'll be walking around a bit like the nativity in the Vicar of Dibley, if you know the Vicar of Dibley at all. So it's a sunny day, but it's jolly windy, which means that it's not blistering hot, but anyway, it's fine. So the reason why I'm saying that I might not be able to film is because it's a load of kids, but I don't want to be that creep that's filming someone else's children. So I just thought I'd let you know what we're doing, because it's got the potential, I think, to be quite good fun, and something that I've not done before, and I thought it was worth recording in this context, even if I might not be able to show you any of it. I'll catch up with you at some point.
Is it me or?
Well, I just mentioned we were coming to this walking panto, and I didn't think I'd be able to film much of it because I didn't want to film other people's children. As you can see, slight revision on the Woodstore project update. I had tried that mesh, but it just wasn't adequate, so Will swung by the metal fabricators, who cut another sheet of mesh for us in half. So we now have the ability to finish this bay, and using this piece, we have the ability to finish the final bay, should we so wish to. The problem with the other mesh was that it just wasn't going to be strong enough. It already sort of sagged and touched the ground, let alone having the wood on it. But it won't go to waste. I can use it to make tree and plant guards, so that's good. And it was hardly a big drama. To put it into context, that roll of mesh cost about $40. And this sheet of mesh was over 200, so it was worth the gamble. And as I say, it won't go to waste, but it's just not going to be usable for this particular project. I'm down a bit closer to ground level. These are very roughly placed. I haven't measured them out or anything, but I realised that I can't staple this sheet down really until this is in place. Although, then I changed my mind and had a slight revision. Essentially, up till this point, all of these bays, the floors of all of these bays is one continuous floor. So they all lead into the next. However, you can see here, I'm at the point where the ground really starts to slope away. And so if I wanted to continue the next sheet at the same level as the rest of them, by the time I get to this bit of wood here, the metal will be about, I don't know, 1 or 2 foot off the ground, which is a bit extreme. So I've made the executive decision for this bay only. What I'm going to do is just trim this metal, we'll put up the wall, and then I'll only level the floor of this bay with itself. So rather than having to lift, for example, this bit of wood up to here, I'll probably only have to lift it up till there, which will make life a lot easier. And what that also means is that I can now get to stapling this piece down, because I'll trim that, which will leave the way clear for me to be able to access this piece of wood. So it's not all doom and gloom. However, because I'm not as confident as Will with some of our power tools, and also we don't have power down here anyway, I'm going to have to slice this by hand using my wire cutting snips. And having taken out a little bit of the metal from which wraps around the post, it isn't easy, and there's a significant amount. Anyway, I think that's the best course. I'll get on and do that, and then fingers crossed, once it's a fait accompli, Will won't be too cross with the decision and will understand the rationale behind it. Materially, I don't think it'll make any particular difference to the wood if we continue to store wood in this final bay, or whatever it is else that ends up going in this final bay, if not wood. Sometimes there's nothing for it but just to take it easy. I'm squeezing in my endurance walk this month. I wouldn't normally come out on a Friday, but every day for the rest of the month's taken up by something I didn't want to miss. I'm doing 35 kilometers today and I'm on the home straight. I'm on the final stretch. But I wanted to show you this. It's not as impressive as it sometimes is, but we have enjoyed a bit of rain. So that you may be able to see, or at least hear, the waterfall. Quite a good sign actually, because obviously here it's summer and that waterfall often doesn't run at all in summer, so it's an indication of just how much rain we've had recently, which is good. Obviously a bushfire could still happen, which is always my main concern from late spring through to early autumn. However, the ground and the vegetation is pretty wet, which means that I guess any bushfire that started would take quite a long time to get hold and probably travel quite slowly. So that's a relief, and it's very nice to see and hear. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. I think I've got about, let me see, 6 kilometers to go, and then I'll be done. And as I say, 35 kilometers this month and 40 next month until I hit 50, and then I will stop because there just won't be enough daylight hours or waking hours for me to physically walk any further than that in a day. Then I'll turn my attention to a modified challenge, which I'm still trying to figure out, but it'll probably involve walking something more akin to marathon distance, but trying to pick up the pace. Anyway, I will get back to it and catch up with you some point soon.
I thought you might be interested to see this. This is the exoskeleton of a cicada. I think it's a cicada. They live in trees and have a life cycle that involves burying themselves under the ground. I don't know a lot about the life cycle of the cicada. They make an incredibly loud noise, and at some point in their life cycle they shed their outer skeleton, which can be found lying around gardens, and here is one now. They do stick onto fabric, if I recall correctly. Let me try to, oh yes, here we go. And can be used as an attractive piece of jewellery.
There's only one thing for it, and of course that is get yourself set up at the seaside. I will be going for a swim later. That's why I'm in my outrageous swimwear. I don't necessarily want to get sunburns anyway, so I'm taking all the proper precautions, but this is glorious. I don't mind telling you. Will and I work pretty hard, and it's not often we do get days where we can just relax, so we do like to enjoy them on the rare occasions they do transpire.